what would be the best outcome from this for the rates to go down and for people to be able to afford it? What are you looking for? What actionable change are you looking for?
So one thing that we do know is that we can't trust the legislative branch, right? Because the Department of DPU is who approved this recent hike without barely any negotiation, right? The EEA, which is a body that's supposed to oversee the DPU, they saw the rate hike, did nothing. The governor sitting there, I know she ran, and in 2017 she opposed a $300 million Eversource hike. She did it then, but since she got in office in that cushy seat, she's done nothing for this. Meanwhile, everybody's screaming, and she's doing a tour proposing a 5% tax hike on restaurants, hotels, and candy. We can't even have candy now, right? So we got that. We got the Attorney General that's sitting on her hands. So much so that when the people put a ballot question number one, the question to audit the legislature, we passed it at a 76% rate, 76% rate. Where's that audit? That audit hasn't happened, right? Miss Diana, I think it's Zigliotti. She's been trying adamantly and getting no traction. The legislature is pushing back. Now, think about it. Why would the legislature be pushing back against the audit, right? The famous governmental tagline is, if you're not doing anything wrong, then what do you have to hide? So now, they have gone as far as to retain legal counsel to fight a ballot initiative put on by the people. You know whose money they're using? They're using the people's money to fight the people. If that's not malfeasance, then I don't know what is, right? Why do we have a voting process if legislatures are going to fight those exact processes that they put in there to make us believe that society is fair and equitable and that they do represent us? So to get back to, what do I think, what do I want from this? We know we can't trust the legislature for many reasons. Those are just some of them that I've rattled off the top of my head. So what we want initially, and what we demand, we demand it. We want transparency, and we want Diana to run an audit not only of the energy sector and the relationships between the DPU, the governor, Eversource. We want to open up those books. We don't just want Diana though. We want an independent forensic auditor that also, in tandem with Diana, we want those records, whatever their discovery is, to be accessible to the public. And we want the public, with members of the community, leaders of the community, non-elected leaders of the community that don't have skin in the game as far as, because what happens in the political field is that there are relationships between one another, and they're almost barred from doing anything outside of the scope of their particular political views, whatever they may be. And so, their hands are tied in a sense where they can't truly follow public interest because they're so focused on the pressures of the political interest within their own little stratosphere there. So we want some oversight of the forensic audit and Diana's audit by a tribunal of the people. That's the first thing we want. The second thing we want an immediate repeal and an immediate stay, an injunction filed to stop the current hikes that are going to be brought on through S 2967, and also the previous 25 to 30% hike that was on November 1st. We want that frozen by a judge while we get that investigation going as far as the forensic audit and the independent audit, and et cetera, so that we can find out if there was even legal grounds. Why should the people suffer while this investigation is going on? Because we know these investigations could take a long time. There's no reason that the people should be paying all these exorbitant rates while that's done. It's obvious here to everybody but the legislature that there was impropriety within the situation. The DPU refuses to give any transparency as far as their algorithms and what they use to, allow these rates to go through without any negotiation whatsoever. But so those are the first two things. And then, after we get that discovery, we'll make our decisions on what the next thing is. But ultimately, we think the legislature is going to drag their feet. So the ultimate goal is getting a ballot initiative, because I'm drafting now an act, the Consumer Protection Act for the energy sector. That's not only going to reverse the malfeasance that we will find in the discovery stage, but it's also going to put protections in place for the consumer within the energy sector, because we are in a regulated monopoly to make sure this never happens again. And after we're done with that, we're going to go on to the next sector. And this is going to be a constant movement. There's a lot to unwind here.
Absolutely.